Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another top-level Marvel Rivals ranked cast. We are in Season 3, and I decided to have a look for a game with a certain spectacular Spider-Man, as it were, along with Johnny Storm. I want to try and find games with all the team-ups, the new team-ups being used. I'm going to be trying to find a Phoenix and Wolverine game at some point, but unfortunately that's been really difficult. Wolverine has been banned in so many games. It's been really hard to find, but I'll get you one. Eventually I will get you one. Any pro players who watch my content, if you have any games that you have played on ranked or in scrims that you're okay to share, obviously it's only if you have permission from everybody, where we have the Wolverine and Phoenix combo, please send them over. But as you can see, we're on Hell's Heaven for this one. We're in the top ranked. It is the 12th that I'm recording this, so it's the day after the patch came out, so people are still going to be feeling this stuff out. We have some very familiar people here. We got Wyni, we got Luigi, we got Lugia, Ducky, all from the EMEA Ignite. We got Saintamoto, we got Necros, and then from Uncles, we got Basong. Imperator's a high-level player. We got some top ranks here. We see a lot of people going very quickly for the insta-picks onto the Phoenix. And of course, if you were wondering where we might be getting a Spider-Man to team up with that Human Torch, well, Necros is here. Big surprise there that was the first game that I found where Spider-Man made an appearance. Well, let's introduce our players in full, as there are some that you might not know. Ladies and gentlemen, on the left-hand side, it is Zora #1, playing the Black Panther. We have Oasis, another top-level player, playing on the Lunar Snow. My ult's ready, playing the Thing. We have Wyni on the Cloak and Dagger. Lugiagoat will be playing the Iron Fist. Very interesting double melee to start us off here. And Ducky1 is on the Groot. And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, it is imperatorfps on the Invisible Woman. KQZ? Cooks. They're going to be Cooks. They're going to be playing the Human Torch. Necros will be on the Spider-Man. Basong is playing Lunar Snow. brandtop will be playing the Phoenix, and saintamoto will be on the Magneto, as we will jump on board with Necros as we're looking to see how this new team-up works out. You can see there on that C, Spider-Man with this team-up with the Human Torch now has a flaming tracer, which you can see is now doing damage over time after the initial engagement. The healing output does come in. In the meantime, they will have to back away as their team does get dropped quite a bit too low. Not really going to be able to duel that. The Inferno Blast, sorry. Meaning he unleashed that Inferno Blast to spray a fiery web. This allows you also a disengage ability as Spider-Man, but more people seem to be using it as the main setup, detonating the Burning Tracer, which of course inflicts the damage over time. Wrapping around for the backline. Looking for the follow-up. Again, not able to find it in the meantime. Lugia in the backline. Looking to see if they can get onto the Human Torch for a little bit of turnaround potential. Necros, once again, getting a good chunk of damage out, but not able to find the setup so far. Gets charged by the Thing, forced to disengage. So far, this is a pretty solid, dominant first round for the blue team, as they have held the point and not letting it go. Finally, they're going to start to get whittled down here, as Necros will get a pickup onto my ult's ready. The Thing, of course, cannot be displaced by Spider-Man, and the Thing also has that new engage ability, the ability to dive to enemies as well as allies. We'll keep an eye on them, see if we get the knockdown onto the Human Torch. We'll jump back and forth, see if we get to see that. Necros doing a little bit of damage on the backline, but nothing too intense as of yet. Never mind, that is the spectacular spin onto the backline for a little bit of a setup potential here. Straggling present coming out from Ducky for the turnaround as Lugia is trying to chase onto the Torch with that lock-on, making it very hard to get rid of, but doesn't have enough potential to get through. Goes for the meditation. This will force to disengage out of the Torch. It's fantastic coming out from Zora. Moving off the Black Panther. Getting a little bit of sustain. Belt's ready, just eating the hits from Saintamoto here. Clobbering time comes on out, manages to hit onto the Torch, but will get melted as they were just a little bit outnumbered here. Found a massive group of enemies, baited them in, ulted, but got punished for it. Flaming Tornadoes coming on in, trying to just drop as much damage as they can. It does seem like they're getting a decent chunk of damage, but it's not enough to actually finish a lot of people each time here. It is just a little bit of extra DPS on Spiderman. If we have a look at the final hits, this is where Spiderman will find a lot of value. They are on 4, which is the second highest in the game. So they are finding these hits. Necros is on point. Not too surprising there. And they've also yet to be taken out. No, that's a normal one. Not going for the flame one. A duel versus torch versus the Iron Fist, sorry. It's not one that almost anyone wants to take, and as such, Necros will be backing away. Here comes the living Chi. Diving on in, gets pulled in by Necros to shut them down and buy a little bit of extra time. Fate of both worlds has to be forced out. See, just maximizing damage output. There's that damage over time, ticking away. Little bits of extra DPS helping out with the invisible boundary coming on in. Lugia gets taken down, and finally we will see Necros go down Strangling Prison for the setup as Zora charges on forward. Brainiac bounce to try and break this siege and flip this back in favor of blue team, which is going well. Wyni gets the double, and this will be at least a temporary swap flip over. Will we see a re-engage? Imperator's going for the portal. brandtop landing those sparks, big AoE damage for the healing outputs, keeping everyone topped up. Is building a lot of ult charge for the side of blue team. Here comes the portal. Coming on in with the Basong Inferno. Big chunk of damage, breaking down the shields and landing so many sparks, the AoE damage to clean them through here. Supernova coming in from Cooks. To try and burn on through the Fate of both worlds from Oasis, keeping everyone except for my ults ready up as they do a lot of damage onto Oasis. Pushing on through, trying to just force everyone off the point. The bar is ticking down piece by piece. Invisible boundary has to come out from Basong, allowing Necros to swing back in. Trying again onto Lugia, but they get the map heal. It's going to be so hard to finish them off now. Has the Tracer, but is traded out, loses the fight. Imperator's buying as much time as they can, though, cleaning one up. Counter portal came on out. Ayamagamoto takes down Oasis, who can revive here, but is it worth it as time begins to tick down? Zora looking for an opportunity. Hulk coming in for my ults ready, just for any kind of reinforcement, anyone on the point. We are going to see that Adam Warlock just for an extra second to hold the line. That means they've touched within the last 2%, but we do go into overtime. See, that damage over time was eaten by the absorbing form. Strangling Prison from Ducky. brandtop to burst on through, though, with the Inferno as they push on in. The incredible healing output from the Eternal Bond to try and turn this round as Lugia is keeping the team topped up as well with the Freedom Charge with all that bonus health. Allowing them to duel on in. Oasis a swap to Jeff for a faster rollout to make sure they're back onto the point. But Necros finds them with the searing shot this time. Swinging back onto the point, and they are able to hold it. Red team takes point number 1. Eldritch Monument coming over to them as we head into Super Soldier Factory. Let's have a look at the statistics. Zora even swinging to Spider-Man for a quick rollout here. And yeah, Necros 7 and 2. It's working. This combo is actually being quite effective here. Googs on this human torch, currently 11 and 2. And the Phoenix, Jean Grey, suffering a little bit on the side of red team, currently 2 and 3. But with 14k damage and 15 KOs, is still contributing a lot to these fights. Triple Vanguard currently being set up by the side of blue team. If they're being harassed by Spider-Man, then perhaps it is time for Namor to make an appearance. They've got Hulk, they've got the Thing here, they've got as much CC as they can. If their opponents are going to go maximum damage, they might as well go maximum beef and just run at them. Saintamoto, solo Vanguard for the side of red team, is moving on to their Captain America here. You see, he's looking for that torch, wants to use that new ability, but it's just going to get melted. Lugia unable to get onto the point, and Zora just trying to pile on some pressure. Gamma Squid inside the doorway, so that anyone who comes in is going to take damage. But just getting rushed down. Spectacular spin from Necros from behind here. And they are cleaning up. Overwhelming damage output coming in from the red team. And blue team have been confined to their spawn. See those sparks spreading. The spark explosion does apply another spark, but there is a delay in between applications, meaning that you can't just get an infinite explosion going with 3 people in a circle. Shots coming in, Eternal Bond for the setup. We've abandoned the thing. Lugia moving over to the torch of their own. Here comes the end song Inferno! Bursting through the shields for a maximum damage output before getting out of there. Damage is solid. You can also see they get a little bit of self-heal when they move in for this, keeping the team topped up. brandtop trying to pile on the pressure onto Ducky. Burn through those frontliners. The Spark AoEs are landing, going in for the headshots as Necros will fall in this fight, but Spiderman will be back soon. Headshot onto Ducky, a little bit of spread, and the explosions are so effective on these grouped up enemies. Tried to go for the stun, did not land it. Telekinesis up to the high ground, not enough for a quick blow-up. Zora returning for their team. Has these squids, will give a little bit of disengage potential. saintamoto getting stunned out here, but enough to disengage. Holding on to this point as here comes the re-engage. Lugia with the supernova, gonna try and burn on through this. You can hear a little bit of damage from the side as Necros swings on in. Spectacular spin back again for another blow up, but they'll get caught out and taken out. Ducky with the pickup. Viol's ready, transforming back and getting caught immediately by Imperator and brandtop with the end song Inferno. There's the flip. 92% for red team, blue team trying to make their way back in. Portal activated, up, over 2%, no one touching, and that's going to be GG. Unable to land those thing shots to get those interrupts out of the air onto the human torch. That was so much damage output. And as such, that is a 2-0 win over to red team on Hell's Heaven. And Cooks on that human torch, huge damage output. Very uncontested there, set up for Necros, who did end up going 23-4 or 14-4 if you're going by final hits. brandtop, again, not as much in the final hit department, but 21k damage is as much as Cooks. Only went down the exact same amount of times. It's just that Cooks and Necros were picking up a lot of those final hits. Cooks, though, 31 KOs compared to that Phoenix's 21. On the other side, Zora tried to bring it back, but 3 and 8. Lugia, 4 and 10. 9 and 10 if you go by KOs. 8 and 8 for Zora 1. Top damage output, as we already said, almost exactly even between brandtop and the Torch. And that is wild. The Torch was some of the biggest AoE damage in the game. But that Phoenix, that AoE, the explosion damage, really stacking up those numbers, bringing us to 21k each. Top damage blocked, gonna be Ducky. Giving it their best for the tankiness, 31k, not enough to hold out for the entire round. And top healing, unsurprisingly here, the team that came second has the more healing because the team that came first was doing more damage. You can see the 24k for Wyni will be the top healing output. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed today's cast. Let me know any requests for characters, players. Again, no promises for players. If they hide their replays, I can't do much, but I can message them and at least ask. But if you have any requests for anything of the sort, let me know. I have been Tetcher. Thank you all very much for watching. If you want to support the channel, then you can become a member to help support by... For starters, you can subscribe, like the video, comment on the video. All of these help in the algorithm to help push the video out to more people. But also, you can become a member where you get access to early videos, behind-the-scenes content if I end up going to any lands, and your name shouted out like these wonderful people. Odium, Arso, Doki Poki, and John. Thank you all very much for your support. And thank you for watching at home. I hope you've all had a lovely day, and I hope the rest of your day is great as well. Thank you all very much for watching. I have been Tetcher, and I will see you all tomorrow.